Hey, everybody who's already in the chat. Hey, Jim, thank you for being here. We will say this more than one time during today's episode, but today's episode is our 50th, 50. Hey, we're 50, and we can punch and
We're
kick
50.
and stretch. I'm
50.
Kara Show 50th episode. Holla at your girls. What's up? So anyway, if you heard any of the intro, I was just talking about Taylor Swift was on her boyfriend's podcast yesterday, which was very cute. And just like a nice respite from the garbage fire on its face. If you want to just set aside the materialism of whatever. She went on the podcast basically to announce her new album, which Swifties are going nutty bananas cuckoo for, which is delightful. I love a fandom. I am part of this fandom. I am a Swiftie over 50. You're not going to yuck our yum, as Hal Sparks would say. And it was just very sweet. And for 2 hours, friends, for 2 hours, it was just these two fine people who are in love with each other and do good in the world, and they do nice things for each other and for their families and for people in general, and they're very sweet, and he's so in love with her and so supportive of her, and they know each other very well, and it's just a nice thing to see. And it kind of gives me the same feelings when I watch my son and his girlfriend together, because they're very much in love and they very much support each other and they know each other so well, and it's very cute and sweet. And just for a little while, just for a little while, it was lovely. Besides the fact that she announced this new record. Her new record is orange. Like, the color theme is orange. When she ended the Eras tour at the last show that I was at in Vancouver, BC, she exited through an orange door to let us know there's going to be another era coming. If anyone can reclaim the color orange, my friends, it's Taylor Swift, because Donald Trump hates her so much. So anyway, I'm just saying.
Well, what I'm just saying.
It was nice. It was nice. It's
nice. Well, because my friend here, Dublin, said that they are that she donated 3 years of food to a food bank. Well, thank you, milady. That we
all
can
the food banks in all the cities.
We can depend. Well, great, but we shouldn't have to depend on the good graces.
No.
First of all, to even have a food bank, but then we have to wait for a billionaire to, the good billionaire to trickle upon us.
Not disagreeing with you.
Well, the whole
the
thing
system
is
screwed.
It just
we know
says that this country is fucked up, and it's just got its priorities all backwards.
Yeah,
so,
but at least she's doing good with it, right? She's not sitting on a pile of money and like
that's
throwing,
fine.
And eating trinkets.
But it's the same. I get it.
She also does stuff that is, completely like under the radar, that you never see anyone on the right do, regardless of how much money they make. She goes and visits sick kids in hospitals.
Good.
When was the last time a right wing person did that?
Never. She's a very nice person,
No,
but that's
she's
the problem,
with
though.
her time as well as money.
She's a great person. She's wonderful. I wish we had a million more of her. But the fact is that we should. This is the way the country's supposed to run, is that we're supposed to pay our taxes, and then we have our representatives, and then they equitably, they fight it out, who gets what and where and whatever services are needed. And we shouldn't have to wait for a billionaire to give us things that we should already have as a right of citizenship. It's like the same thing when Stephen Colbert, he gives money to his elementary school or one of his schools that he was in when he was growing up. And I'm like, thank you, my lord. I mean, he understands. Yes, that's great that he does that. But the fact that schools need to find a benevolent billionaire benefactor to function is not the feel-good story of the week. And this is what drives me insane. It's like the way that it should be framed is, that's very nice of those people, but it shouldn't even be a thing. That is the moral rot in the system right there. It's not. It's like when the corporate media does feel-good stories about how a bunch of comedians, let's say, this was the most recent one that I saw, a bunch of comedians got together to do a benefit for a child that didn't have a prosthetic leg, lost their leg. And so they did a benefit. And that's wonderful. But guess what? In every other fucking country on earth, you don't need to have a goddamn celebrity benefactor do a benefit for you. You get that prosthetic leg. And in fact, in England, they get robotic, nice bionic legs and prosthetics out of the NHS, you know? So it's just the whole thing. And they write, isn't this wonderful? Or they'll do a story about a GoFundMe campaign, how some kid with cancer got their, chemo for a whole week or some bullshit. Because, and that's not the frame. The frame should be shame on us for allowing this to be the system that we endure. It's not supposed to be like this. Billionaires are a symptom of the sickness. So
absolutely.
There you go.
No, I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with you. It's just unfortunately that is the system, and the only way we're gonna be able to fight the system is if we wrench power back from the oligarchs who are completely destroying it. And so, in the meantime, at least
this is pointed out. You got to point it out, though.
Yes, you do. However, this is a situation that in improv they call a yes and. Yes, that fucking sucks. And it's good that at least there are decent human beings, not even necessarily billionaires, regular people, contribute their time and volunteer. Other people give when they can and what they can. That is also the nature of this country, in that we recognize when the have-nots continue to have not, those of us who have, any of us who have more, you have a moral obligation to give. It's the common defense. It's providing for the brotherhood, the sisterhood. That's what community is supposed to mean. That's what you're supposed to do, and live by the examples that are set, with others doing good, like we talked about with John Fugelsang last Thursday. A lot of what they say and what they do are, not the same thing. We see better examples of people who do good, and they do it when no one's watching. They don't do it to get a photo op. It's not like when Paul Ryan went to the homeless shelter and pretended to wash pots that were already clean. You don't watch their. It's not like Taylor Swift invites a camera crew with her when she goes to visit these hospitals. Like somebody grabs it on a phone, right? That's true.
And, yes, and
but
yes,
also,
but
so do I when I go. If I went and like the 15 years I volunteered with the Human Rights Campaign and Basic Rights Oregon, and all of the marching that I did and all of the phone banking that I did, and I wasn't like, oh, look at me, I'm an ally, yay me. I just did it. And if people knew about it, great. And if they learned from me, awesome. And if it's something that is giving is contagious and being kind is contagious. So the more you hear about kind acts, then the better. Hopefully someone gets inspired by it. You are fighting the system, yet at the same time saying, here's how we fight the system. And we fight the system by saying, here's a person who's doing their part in fighting the system.
Yes, but
so I'm a
yes, but when I went to improv, I did a yes, but. But
I know you're not supposed to do that.
No, I know.
In improv.
I used to do classes with Upright Citizens Brigade. Anyway, and did improv and things like that. But the thing, what I'm trying to say is that what Taylor Swift, yes, wonderful, congratulations. She's a wonderful person. I'm not knocking her, all of that. And, but she should say, if we want to educate people, don't normalize this. She should, if she wanted to really point it out, say, look, this shouldn't even be necessary. I shouldn't have to give all this money in the richest country on earth so people don't have to be hungry. This is a failure of our system. Shame on us. Here's 3 years of fucking food. But we shouldn't have to wait for a billionaire with a kind heart, because we lived in that system before. It was called, the West. It was the history of Western civilization, and it only took, a few generations before we went from Augustus Caesar to fucking Nero. Okay, so. And that was the end of the Julio-Claudian dynasty. But it all ended with people...
Just throwing out fancy words.
Well, with people being just nothing but playthings and pawns, and just being abused by, unfit rulers. And who got their money and power because they were, born on third base thinking they hit a triple and all that. So, and that's what... that's what we're headed to. Because everything.
We're here. We're there. I mean, it's happening. Look, just the normalization of everything that Trump continues to get away with is exactly that system rewarding him for his terrible behavior.
Oh, God,
and
yes.
over and over, he gets away with it. And it's honestly not helpful to see Democrats on Twitter just making fun of Putin coming to America with a whole bunch of Russians on a plane, and they're going to be met at an Alaskan military base. While, by the way, Alaska is experiencing, in Juneau, they're experiencing floods. So they're experiencing like a weather emergency, and they're going to fly in there with a handful of these Putin puppets, Trump and Vance and Scott Bessent. I don't know why the Secretary of the Treasury is going to be in on a meeting with an international, like the man is wanted in 133 countries. I believe there's a warrant for Putin's arrest, thanks to the International Criminal Court. So technically, if he even steps off the plane, he is supposed to be arrested, and instead he's being met with a bunch of people, Marco Rubio, people who are going to get on their knees and open wide and ask, suck him up and swallow it, and can I have more? So anybody normalizing it with humor on Twitter, like we're all trying to cope in our ways, but it's really, this is the lowest point for our country this week, because there's no reason.
This hour.
Only Thursday still. They always drop some ridiculousness on Fridays. Well, I don't even want to know what it might be this week, but it's coming. The normalization of this is not okay. He should not be allowed to land here, period. And he shouldn't be allowed to land anywhere. He should be in custody.
He's a war criminal, like you said.
Custody?
He illegally invaded Ukraine, and we had a treaty with Ukraine to protect them. They gave up their nuclear weapons, and we're supposed to protect their borders. Instead, the baboon and all of his enablers are divvying up. Basically, we will never get our good name back in our lifetimes, because how could anybody trust us anymore? That's for sure.
Exactly. And like we were talking about, we never got the transcript from 2018 from Helsinki. And how are we ever going to know what was said in this meeting? We're never going to know.
Yeah.
We won't. And you know what else should be happening, by the way? This little group that's going to meet him, why are there no Democrats demanding to go along? If this is happening at all, Democratic leadership, if they can't stop it, if you're not doing anything to stop it, Chuck Schumer and your strongly worded tweets, or Eric Swalwell making jokes, get on the plane. Demand Democrats are on that plane and part of that meeting, so that we get some sort of honesty out of it, because we're never going to know. We're never going to know. And it makes me sick to see the compliance. Like, I don't know why the Treasury Secretary is going, but I do know that his marriage is in jeopardy, because first of all, Donald Trump has been trying to get rid of gay marriage for a while, doesn't recognize that Pete Buttigieg's marriage is real. And that bitch Kim Davis, who I don't know why she gets to have any say in anybody's marriage when she looks like a giant Holly Hobby doll and has been married 4 times and has a bunch of kids with all these different guys, and her second husband is her 4th husband, is maybe her brother and her cousin. I don't know. Is she the only woman in her town? I don't get it. I don't get it. And normally I don't even shame women by appearances, but I would say that it's your actions that make you ugly, and that eventually that just transmits to your outside. But I mean, if you're wearing a bib overall dress and your hair is a mullet froey down your back, never cut it, and you believe that Christian marriage is the real thing, but you're a hypocrite like that, no, I'm sorry, you're not more attractive than either of us here or anyone in the chat. It's gross, it's disgusting, and she has no place doing that. Anyway, my point being, truth and stuff still matters, and the more that we hammer it out into the world, the better, or else it just continues to get lost. And this acceptance, this compliance, this normalization of Putin even being invited to the United States.
Well, it should be the G8 again. It should be. All he did was vile. Yeah, no, I mean, because we have an absolute unfit con man criminal squatting in the White House again, and I can't forgive anybody who voted for that. That's what I keep saying it. I will not forget. I will not forgive. And
Oh, it's so hard.
there has to be a reckoning for these people. There really does.
Do you have anybody in your life that close
That's
to
a
you that
maggot?
did?
Not that
Not necessarily. No.
I don't want to. I have suspicions, my suspicions, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't outright asked because I don't want to know if that's the case. Because I would be. It offends me personally as a human, not just on every just well how could you? It used to. I knew for a fact that my sister voted Republican numerous times, and that's because of her husband, who now ex. But and I took it personally then, because but she's like every other American who doesn't pay attention. She'll hear things in her husband was influencing her, and he read Breitbart and shit like that, and we would get into it all the time. But to me, I was personally offended by it, because I'm like, I'm gay, and you don't even give a shit that these people use gay people as fodder, and then second class citizens. And then with George W. Bush coming out and saying we're going to make an amendment, a constitutional amendment, to make marriage a sacred right between a sacred bond between a man and a woman. Get the fuck out of here.
It's nobody's business. And that's
it's just
the thing that I get so frustrated about is the things that they focus on have nothing to do with the greater good of the country. It's their personal biases and feelings. You should not be writing legislation based on your own personal hate. We talked about that with John Fugelsang when he was with us last Thursday. And by the way, Devlin and I will be on John Fugelsang's Sirius XM Progress show this evening at 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and about 11:15 and 8:15 on the West Coast. So that's an extra special 50th episode celebration. But it's just worked out that way fortuitously. But it's just, it's just another example of their hypocrisy, and they don't live the way they say that they live, and they don't, they cherry pick the Bible and the Constitution, but they never live by it, and no one ever holds them accountable for it. And right now they are all actively welcoming a traitor and an international criminal who has an incredible death hold over the United States of America, because he has a grip on the Republican Party. That has been normalized. This would not have happened. This would not have happened before 2016. This would not have happened before they cheated the first time to steal an election from Hillary. And again, Democrats should be not tweeting about it. They should be demanding to be on there, and we need to be getting the truth out there. And I have a triple Trumper in my life, and there's that I don't know that maybe we should, I don't know if we should boost other people's podcasts, but there's that I've Had It podcast woman. I think her name, I can't remember her name. It's Jennifer, I think Jennifer something, but it's kind of gone viral because she's like, I have no patience for any people who triple trumped. You don't get off the hook and whatever. And triple trumping and like double dipping is, again, unforgivable at this point. Yeah. My stepfather, my mom and my stepdad live in Manhattan on the Upper West Side. They have seen things change in the city that they don't like. My mother is still a Democrat. She voted for Kamala. My stepfather voted for Trump, even though he's not MAGA. He's just a Republican and refuses to vote for a Democrat regardless of who they are. And you can say, oh, well, they live in New York. His vote is like pissing into the East River. It's not really going to do anything. But the issue is what you just said, like, you're gay and they voted for someone who doesn't want you to be able to have any freedoms or equality based on who you love, which is stupid, based on your basic biology and the way you were born. It's like hating me for being born into a Jewish family. It's like, that's, or me, or me just me being a short woman. Like, I can't control that. Like, it's my biology, right? And so hating people for how they look or it's the stupidest. It's hating people for things that they just can't control, and it's dumb. Well, and I would begged my stepfather. I begged him. I said, you are the grandfather of 6 Jewish grandchildren. You are married to a Jewish woman. You have a Jewish daughter. I am a woman. I have been threatened by MAGA people. Your son, like all of this. And he's like, I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that.
Yeah, they don't. That's what it is. That's my sister,
and
too.
And it's ridiculous, right? And he said, and so my mother, like being, his name is Fred, the Fred to Tara translator, which my mother often ends up having to be, which is unfortunate. He voted for the measures that would protect abortion. And I was like, that doesn't matter when he voted for someone who's not going to implement the measures that he voted for because he's protecting his granddaughters. You're not. You're giving them a mixed signal. You're saying, well, you know, if it was up to me, I'd protect you, but I'm voting for someone who doesn't give a shit about you or your body or your future or your autonomy.
And they're voting based on bullshit too. That's the other thing, because what my sister would say is that it's tax breaks, you know, because the shit that would come out of her mouth, for example, when my nieces and nephews were in college, she'd say things kind of reminiscent of what my father would say. Most of my family are normal people. They were Democrats, and my father was the outlier. He was the only one of all of his brothers and sisters who voted for Nixon. That's what my aunt tells me. And they, you know, would always try to reason with him. But then came Rush Limbaugh. So after that, it was no getting to him. But my sister, she would say things like, oh, well, if, because, you know, the student loans and all that, which is another problem, that you keep voting Republican. I would try to point it out to her. And she'd say, well, if they were dreamers, you know, the dreamers get everything, my sister was saying. And that's, you know, and I said, first of all, I highly doubt that. But even if that's the case, I said, you're focusing your anger not on, you know, not in the appropriate place, because it's not the people lower on the ladder that you should be angry at. It's the ones who are writing the laws and making it so we don't have a system where you can't leave college without being an indentured servant to a bank. So that's not the fault of the dreamers. And this is what the Republicans do. That's why when I believe that everything like universal health care, universal higher education need to belong to everyone, just like Social Security. The only reason Social Security has lasted was because of FDR created it to belong to everyone. And as he said, it will belong to everyone, so no damn politician can scrap it. So, and that's why Republicans...
And look what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, they try. They've been trying since he signed it. They say things like, well, I don't need Social Security. You know, I'm rich. Why don't you give it to somebody that needs it? To turn it into a means-tested program that could be vilified and then defunded. That's the underhanded way that they're going about it, as always. But the fact is, you know, if we don't have, it's not the people who are lower on the ladder. It's those that we have to that are writing the laws. And the thing is, they do this deliberately to keep us divided. So someone a little higher on the ladder it creates dissension. It creates discord. It divides people. It's a complete. I mean, it's sinisterly genius, of course, because that's how they get us distracted. So you know, it's like everything that they do: divide and conquer. Divide. So well, you're focusing on poor people. Oh well, and even a friend of mine who is a Democrat. When we have the ACA here in New York, and they try to do the best with it, right? But as Republicans keep cutting the funding for it, it's expensive. That's the problem because of Marco Rubio. He destroyed the ACA, what they call the risk corridors, and no one ever gives him credit for it. Hello, Democrats. Everything is a problem of messaging. Everything is a problem of messaging. You know, give credit give credit where it's due. But my friend was signing up for, you know, yearly. You got to go on the fucking exchange, and he said, I got to pay top dollar. He makes a lot of money, you know. He's like, I have to pay top dollar because I got to pay for everybody else. Like, and with the resentment, and I get it, but that's by design. You know, so you get to be mad at the poor people. So that's why they don't make it belong to all of us, which it should. Everybody in, nobody out. That should be the only American value, really. And that's what Democrats should run on.
Right. Anyway, I mean, Democrats should be doing a lot of things. And I'll tell you something, going back to this Putin thing, that Democrats aren't going to be on that plane with them is problematic. So Democrats should just show up on their own. and
They
demand
should.
to board the plane. They really should.
You're right.
They really should. Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a real leader emerging in Gavin Newsom. And I don't know if you've seen his press office Twitter with the all caps trolling of Trump, but it's mwah. Oh, thank you for your attention to this matter. It's great. It's great. It's great.
Wonderful.
This is exactly how all Democrats should be. I mean, Swalwell is good at trolling them, but then, but Newsom, I think, really has them.
No, they found a good way to do it. It's awesome.
They got him. Right, exactly. And this is one of those things where I have said repeatedly, you find something that they're doing and you co-opt it and make it ours. Like the Let's Go Brandon and how we co-opted that and we got Dark Brandon out of that and that became our thing. It's another thing to do. So now, now maybe all Democrats should start doing that. Just for a little while when you're holding them accountable. And while they're doing this, and the fact that they have a nickname they're starting to nickname them now. Caroline Levitt. Like it.
It's
I
awesome.
like it. This is what we were talking about with Rachel Bidikofer. In that you sometimes have to meet them where they are.
Right.
And you use their own tactics against them and it makes them mad.
Yes.
They are very triggered by this.
This is great.
Gavin Newsom does not give a fuck. And you know who else doesn't give a fuck? Pete Buttigieg. And I, in my wildest dreams, our 2028 ticket is 2 black women. I know that's not happening. The ticket we want to see, the country we want to be, is not the country we are living in, not even close to yet. I would say that most of this country would take, I know it's so fucking hilarious and awesome, but I would say this country might be ready for a gay white male vice president before it's ready to elect a black woman again. Could be. Let's go ahead and start talking about Newsom Buttigieg as an option because both of them have shown zero fear in when it comes to messaging with the right. They go where they live, literally. That's why Newsom had Charlie Kirk on his podcast. That's why Pete Buttigieg goes on Fox. That's why. Because look at this. I mean, they have him. Dead to rights. I love this so much. What's Donald Trump going to push back with? More all caps? Ooh.
This is great. Because this is what I've been talking about. Judo, use their energy against them. And
yes. This is it. This is how it happens.
I love it. Out of respect for the office of the president, not the president. Not the president.
Little Man Johnson.
Yes.
The quotes around the nickname. I mean, all of it is so on point. Fighting fire with fire because there is a child running the White House Twitter right now. Like this idiot 20-something incel neckbeard type is running the White House. He's just such a dipshit. So all of this, they were reading it. They were reading these tweets on Fox. So they say out loud, the lowest polling president in history said it out loud on Fox. Thank you.
Let's play it. Hold on.
What's going on here? Gavin Newsom is in on the act now, firing back at Trump about the redistricting. On X last night, Donald Trump. You see all the caps, right? Do you know?
Yeah, we see
the style.
You know what they're doing
here, right? Donald Trump, the lowest polling president in recent history. This is your second to last warning. The next one is the last one. Stand down. California will counterstrike legally to destroy your illegal crooked maps in red states. Press conference coming, hosted by America's favorite governor, Gavin Newsom. Final warning next. You won't like it. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You won't like it.
Oh my God. Oh, perfect. Everything. Using crooked, using illegal, using it's happening, but it's not happening yet. Saying America's favorite governor because Trump always calls himself America's favorite president. Everything about that, so great.
This is great. Do not be fooled by so-called experts. There is strong support. This is fucking brilliant. Oh, and
this
about
is what
time.
I have been waiting for. I have been saying for years. Oh, what did they do to Stephen Miller?
Wow.
Oh, by the way, speaking of other podcasts, Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, now has a podcast.
Oh,
for conservative women. Because there's just nowhere for conservative women to go on the internet.
She's horrible.
Devlin. Where are conservative women gonna find some safe space on the internet? Boo hoo. But like that trolling of them with the you man. I mean, all that's missing is like the meme that goes along with it. You know,
Yes.
like
Wow.
I love it. I love it so much. But like, inflation is up again.
I love this. Is my new favorite.
Trolling
Why am I
Katie
not
Miller is
following
also
this?
something to do. That's something to do. Troll her and be like, you know, if you want to get people to watch your podcast, why don't you just release the Epstein files? I bet Elon told you all about it, and you know, like, just get her. I don't care anymore. There's 76% of Twitter is trolls anyway. And what's fun is every time I tweet my video where I read Katie Johnson's Epstein file victim testimony, and like there's 27 fake trolls going, "Oh, I hope Trump sues you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I hope he sues me too."
Yeah,
because
that'd be great.
Right? Go ahead.
Great for the show.
Please do. Right? Great for the show. Discovery will be delightful. Also, 2 weeks from today is my 10-year anniversary of being blocked on Twitter by Trump. So 10 years, right? It's 2 weeks? Yeah, it's 2 weeks from today. So we're going to have I don't know what to do about that because, again, I was thinking about my OG block, which you can't get anymore because he's changed his header multiple times because it came from 2015. Thank you. I was thinking about getting it made into the top of a sheet cake, but that's I looked it up. It's like $100 or more. Get a sheet cake with an image on it, with an edible image. Unless people want to drop a whole bunch of money into the super chat, and then I will get a cake.
We need money for other things than a cake.
I need money to pay rent and feed the cats too. It's a hard life. It's a hard knock life for us.
Cats don't eat cake.
Media. No, but I do. I love cake. But I love that shitty like Safeway bakery sheet cake with the buttercream frosting. Like I'm not saying I don't love a fancy cake.
With like, you know, in the dark with tears streaming down your face. I guess it's okay.
No, I have the lights on while I'm doing that. And by the way, I'm one of those people like if I have cake, it's because if I know I'm gonna have cake, then I'll just have salad for dinner, and then I'll have the cake.
Sometimes you gotta have cake.
I think there's nothing. I mean,
not a whole cake though.
No, but like that gif of Tina Fey sheet caking, like that's so my mood at all times. Just give me a sheet cake and a fork, and then stand back. Stand back until my stomach folds over and says, "We've had enough for today." But I love that's my favorite kind of cake. But again, we need to come up with and chat friends, come up with ideas like how would you have me celebrate my 10-year blockversary? Because it's not, I mean, I think that there are still people on Twitter who are still blocked by him. I don't know if they've been blocked by him for a full 10 years. And I don't know if they also have the companion blocked by Trump quadfecta, which I have, which is Trump, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. So I have all four of those. I don't have.
You collected the whole set.
Collect them all. I don't have Tiffany. I mostly leave her alone. Although every so often, once in a blue moon, if Rick Grenell does something terrible, I'll be like, Tiffany Trump is what happens when Rick Grenell is your only gay friend. That's a line. And Rick Grenell blocked me all the way back in 2015 also. The taco is back. I love him so much. I love Gavin Newsom. He's so studly. I think we're ready for him to be our president.
He could
by
be
2020. He could be. Yeah, for sure. Because he already knows how to run a very large economy. Yeah. Hi, your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom.
Offered the best, most amazing deal.
His middle name is Christopher, which is, an extension of Christ, your Lord Jesus, and your Savior, MAGA. So come on over. 2 week, little hands.
To even write me back. No deal, and no deal equals perfect, beautiful maps that will end his presidency.
So great.
Soon he will not be 47. Patriots will take back Congress. Many say I should run for speaker. I won't. Make the maps great again. Liberation Day tomorrow. Thank you. This is awesome.
I love it. Like if I could inhale that.
Where have you been my whole life?
That into right? This is the stuff that's going to get under Donnie's thin skin like nothing else. because people are going to talk about this. Just like, guess what? We're still talking about the Epstein files. Yes, we are. If there was only a way for them to incorporate the Epstein files in these all caps, they need to be doing that, because the Epstein files are still real.
Yeah, he mentions it here too, like in other tweets, something. I thought I saw that at least. Yeah.
Good. Because all of that is still like, and we still need to be newsjacking anybody that we see not talking about the Epstein files. You can do, as we were talking about earlier, as they do in improv, a yes and.
Donald the failure Trump will be warned. Tomorrow may be the worst day of your life, all because you missed the deadline. Liberation Day for America.
If only. No, Liberation Day for America is when that blight on humanity is no longer gaining access to the White House.
Yeah, this is
no longer in the White House. When they have to go around the Oval Office and take down all those peel and stick gold tacky decals they bought from Hobby Lobby, that's when. When his obituary is a 24-hour loop injected into my veins. That's when. Not a moment sooner than that, because you don't want to celebrate an early victory. You don't want to have to go back. No one likes an anticlimax. But this constant hammering, and they are all over her.
Caroline Lyon, Caroline Leavitt. Perfect.
I love it. Now I do the KKK, Caroline Lievit, LIE-Vit. Also, any nicknames work. We're happy to take them all, collect them all. It's all good. I love this. I love all of this. This is how you do it. Every Democrat should be doing this exact same thing. This is how you do it. This, and using the Epstein files to run on in 2026. 2026, every Democrat has been handed a gift with the Epstein files. Because regardless of the content, the lies and the betrayal of the MAGA voters around the Epstein files is another thing that they should be focusing on, among the other things that they should be focusing on, with messaging. They should be saying, he lies to you. You don't want to, he lies to you. He lied. Here are his list of lies just about the Epstein files. Here they are. And you know that they're right here because here they are. This is him on camera saying in September 2024, if he wins, he would release the Epstein files. Well, he didn't. Why aren't you holding him accountable? What's going to happen if you do? I dare you. I infinity triple dog dare you. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? Nancy Mace, come on. I dare you to say something. She won't. Oh, man, I spent some time the other day. I called the district office because her comms director doesn't work out of the D.C. office. She works out of the district office in South Carolina. And, I just have some really basic questions for Nancy Mace because now she's running for governor of South Carolina, as you know. And I want to know why she's never called Donald Trump out for this whole Epstein files thing. And she voted to release them, but under a special circumstance, like only if like a certain protection was put in for him. And she's also never said one thing publicly about him letting international sex trafficking rapist pedophile brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate back into the United States. And her former MAGA Mean Girl comms director quit because she's such a terrible person. And so there's a new MAGA Mean Girl comms director. And I called Nancy Mace's office the other day, and I was put on hold for a really long time, which means that she was in the office, but she declined to take my call, but I was given an email. Guess what? She didn't respond. But I'm saying it's the asking of the questions, and so then you go public. You're like, well, I emailed you because I was going on the Dino Badela show, and we were talking about truth in politics, and what would you have me say about Nancy Mace? What would you have me say about Nancy Mace to an audience of millions on SiriusXM Progress about Nancy Mace remaining silent about Donald Trump and the Epstein files and Andrew and Tristan Tate? The answer is nothing. No answer is your answer, so I guess I can say whatever I want. Thank you. Thanks, Nancy Mace, because I'm going to keep doing it. That's what we do. We do accountability, and we do it all the time. We do the news jacking. We do the content jacking. We take what they're saying and we throw it back. And that's something that I've constantly done on Twitter. When they set up a tweet that's really stupid, I use their words and throw them right back at them to show how stupid they are. That's how you do it. As long as you know you're talking to a real human. Go after the members of Congress. Leave the trolls alone. The trolls are there for distraction. They are there to waste your time and then virtue signal more trolls to waste your time. And again, quick primer, if there's 17 numbers in their username and they joined in 2014 and all their account does is retweet MAGA influencers, that's not a real person. Don't waste your time. And then don't include me in it. I don't want to be, don't tag me in that conversation. I
Well,
don't need to know
they're
about
getting
it.
better
Don't
though.
respond.
The
They have
trolls
blue
are not.
checks.
That's what I mean. Like, not all of them.
Yeah.
They're not all, I think, as easily identifiable.
tell.
So
I mean, it's gotten harder because they can have blue checks now, but one thing that you can notice over and over again and again, look at it. Just look at it. Don't respond. You can look at them all. A lot of them have 1.1K followers because I think it's all each other. It's all the fake accounts all following each other to make it look like they have a real follower count and to make it look like they're real. But once you go into their timelines, what you need to look for is tweets that they clearly wrote themselves that aren't retweets, or they're not just sharing memes, or they're not, because if they can't write an original organic tweet, they're not human. They can't generate something that's not bounced off of others or isn't part of spreading the propaganda. So that's why, like, even if you challenge Grok, there's only so much Grok can respond with because it's not a human person. It's going to do, like today I was like, hey, Grok, why is my account so suppressed? And why can't I just promote my book? And he was like, and then the Grok is like, create a social media platform to promote it. And I'm like, really? Why didn't I think of that? Kind of hard to do that when your account is suppressed by Elon Musk. But again, it's all of this stupid, like, challenge all the stupidity that you see, but do it in a smart way is the point. I don't want anyone wasting their time. And all of those are designed to waste your time so that you're not focused on the Epstein files. You're not focused on Trump going and taking a knee to the Russian oligarch who's controlling everything in the Republican Party because the DNC has the RNC blackmail is being contained and used. Who knows what they've got on them? Something worse than a P-tape? Something worse? Something worse? Dead. Like Hal says, dead boy, live girl. We don't really know. So
I'm not sure. I mean, they have something. Of course, there's no doubt that when he was in Russia all those times trying to sell his tacky, I guess, beauty pageants and his hotel, they were compiling reams of compromise on him. There's absolutely no doubt. So they say that,
including Epstein shit.
Right, but they
remember when Terry Jacobus was on with us, we were talking about that Putin has a safe full of stuff on Trump, and some of it is from the Epstein years because Epstein was financed by Russian banks, as we'll talk about next Thursday with my Senator Ron Wyden here on the Tara Show. Right now, just so you know, mark your calendars if you need to. Next Thursday, we tentatively, unless something should happen, my Senator Ron Wyden is giving us a tight 15 minutes to talk about the Epstein files because he has investigated the Russian bank transfers, and there's 4,275 that the Trump administration doesn't think is worth investigating, but my Senator Ron Wyden certainly did. And so what they've learned about that, I mean, it's egregious. And again, Congress should be back in session now because of this bullshit shutting down DC, which we haven't even gotten to talk about because there's other crazy shit going on. But again, it's keeping this truth at the top of the news cycle is the point of all of this mishigas stuff that we're saying. Anyway,
that is true.
Why do you think they cemented up the Rose Garden? Do we think the Epstein files are underneath the patio?
Well, I think that Trump doesn't
some of them
plan
buried
on
with Ivana?
Trump doesn't plan on leaving the White House. No one puts that much energy into renovating their home if they plan on leaving in a couple of years.
No.
So
unless they plan on flipping it, they're going to flip it and give it to something else.
They'll flip it. Well, it's already given. It's Putin's palace. Well, he's turning it into Saddam's palace. That's what it looks like, with all the gilded, tacky bullshit that he had. Everything is gold, and he's so ugly. My God, I mean. But if I'm not mistaken, though, as far as Trump being a Russian asset, if you ask Grok if Trump is a Russian asset, and I think it does agree and say, because when you look at everything that he does through that lens, then it actually makes sense. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You don't want to see the obvious. You can't really even dare think about it. Our president is not a Manchurian candidate, but a Kremlin candidate, and he's I mean, and if he had to what do they call it, turn him into a Russian asset, he didn't have to work too hard to do it, because Trump is the most eager bitch of Putin. All you got to do is give him flattery and well, he tweeted many years, I think it was 10 years ago or more, "Will Putin be my best friend?" That in itself, right?
Daddy, love
needy
me,
bitch.
please love me. It's really interesting, and we don't have time to really delve into the whole psyche and whatever. But I've said this before. If I can understand the why of someone, like if I can unlock whatever makes them the twisted loser that they are, I'm like, okay, I understand that. I don't have to like it, but I get it. We are paying for Trump's myriad daddy and mommy issues.
Oh, yeah.
Because he felt emotionally abandoned as a child, because he was. I'm not making excuses.
Well, he's
I'm just saying.
Sociopath now, yeah.
And it turned him, he felt abandoned, so he turned into a self-soothing person until he found someone else who mirrored back, "Oh, yes, you were wronged. Oh, but I love you, but I'll take care of you, but you're such a good boy, you're such a good boy." So Roy Cohn did that, and then Putin did that, because they understood how to prey upon him. They saw his weakness. It was so obvious. He was so needy and desperate for true guidance and love from anybody who presented as a father figure. And eventually he learned that at least negative attention is better than no attention, which is the entire, that's like the default setting of every bully. That's what they learn. Eventually they learned that, it's okay, well, no one's going to be nice to me, well, then I'm going to beat everybody up, and that's how I'm going to get people to, if they're not going to respect me, then I'll get them to fear me. It's like all of that pathology.
Well, he's a very sick person. Yeah, his father was
right now, right, and he was taught to be a racist by his father, because his father was a horrible person, and they wouldn't rent to black families in Harlem in the 70s, and it's a real nature nurture argument there. He doesn't know how to ride a bike or drive a car because no one loved him enough to teach him how to do those things. Just basic. He can't function as a basic human because he was never given basic human loving relationship building tools. He came from a dysfunctional family, and then he created a bigger dysfunctional family over and over again. So, and it's pathological. And then now you have this cult of bullies who have seized upon their own manufactured self-victimization. And here we are. And we're paying for it. And it's ridiculous. And and again, this is why we should have always been louder than the MAGA cult messaging back from 2016. But now we're finally like, oh my God. It's like Joe Walsh finally becoming a Democrat. I don't care how long it takes you to get to the party. We're just happy to have you. Come on in. There's no raisins in the potato salad. Come on, everybody's got a chair. That's how I feel when it comes to our party. And we see you, we accept you, we honor you, you're cool. You admit to a mistake, awesome, come on over. That's not the default setting you're going to get from the other side. It just isn't. And so, we have to be realistic and pragmatic about the world we are currently living in, not the fantasy world that we wish we live in. That'd be great. We can't do that. I mean, MAGA does it. MAGA manufactures a reality for themselves where everything is fine, and coffee just did not go up 14.5% because of tariffs. Coffee has had one of the highest price increases, because guess what? We don't grow coffee in the continental United States.
Right, and that's why Trump is such a baboon. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, because he doesn't understand that there are some things like bananas. We don't grow bananas here, and avocado or whatever else. I don't know what else, but they are. There's a reason there are trade deficits. Sometimes it doesn't really mean that they're treating you badly. And he doesn't know what the fuck he's saying anyway. So right now, though, I saw an interview with the Stu Leonard guy, Stu Leonard Jr., and he was talking about that for the most part, for the past couple of months, the owners have been kind of eating the the price differential, though that's only going to last so long. And Trump, that's what he's hoping, that the businesses, and there are some businesses that can actually take the hit, but it's the small businesses that can't survive because they're not able to get imports. It's not forget your small grocer. They're not able to take the deficit spending that they have to do to keep prices low.
It's an old-fashioned word, groceries.
Yeah,
Groceries.
right.
That's a word nobody uses.
Until he started using it. But then so his bullying people is only going to go so far, and people are already feeling. I know for a fact. I mean, I go to Trader Joe's to get my groceries, and they've already. I could see. I mean, I could tell by my my bill. They've gone up, of course.
No.
So
I watch people grocery shopping now, and they're being incredibly selective, and they're looking at the prices, and they're saying, okay, not that, but this. And we're going to see all of this food spoil and go to waste because no one can afford to buy it, to eat it. So, and along with him not understanding how anything works, he claims this is one claim of all of the other millions of claims. Like, he's busy changing job numbers because he doesn't like them, so he gets a lying Nazi from the Heritage Foundation to change the numbers. He wants to go into the Smithsonian and change their displays about our history. It's based on his understanding of American history.
Which is not much of an understanding. He doesn't know
I don't give
American
a fuck
history.
About your opinion. It's about his opinion. Your opinion is that you created the earth and the sun. Fuck you. No, you didn't. Nothing shines out of your diapered ass. You don't get to erase the parts of American history because you don't like them. And PragerU, the Christian cult university, they're already producing videos to replace the ones that aren't going to be shown on PBS anymore.
Oh, please, God, no.
To reteach American history. Christopher Columbus didn't rape and pillage the natives. He legit came here, and there was nobody here, so he just took over the country.
Wow.
Slavery was great for black people because it taught them all a trade. They learned how to become blacksmiths and farmers. That's what kids are going to get taught.
Yeah, and the white people were just housing them and giving them food and whatnot. And that's actually something a clip.
Brought them over from the jungle where they would have been eaten by lions and brought them to the safe haven of the white United States of America, and by Christian families.
Well, that's the excuse they say. They taught them to be Christian. They pulled them out of. Yep. No, but years ago, there was
all of it is so fucking infuriating. All of it.
There was one of these seminars at CPAC years ago. And the title was, "Are you sick of being called a racist when you know you're not?" Could you imagine having to have that seminar at your convention? Aren't you sick of being called a racist when you know you're not? Why? Well, when people are
very defensive.
Yeah, but I mean, if
very defensive.
Instead of saying like, why are people calling me a racist all the time? You know what I mean? Like the name of the seminar should be like, hey, if you don't like the reflection in the mirror, you don't break the mirror, you fix your fucking face, right? So
you might be a racist if everybody calls you a racist.
Yeah, it's not like
if you target all of the black mayors in America.
It's not like
might be a racist if it's just, and they're very defensive because if I tweet something about people being racist, there's always somebody who's triggered and responds, and I'm like, well, why do you think I was addressing you? Are you if you specifically don't think you're racist, then I'm not addressing you specifically. Get the fuck out of my mentions. I don't need to see you. But if you're triggered by me saying that, if you're triggered by me wearing a t-shirt that has a cartoon of Wonder Woman punching Donald Trump, head of the Proud Boys, if you're that thin-skinned and delicate, get off the internet, seriously. Because you can't, and the ones who always challenge you to a debate because they think
they're the worst.
I love those. I get a lot of those on Instagram because I'm still trying to figure out who's fake on Instagram, and it's really hard because a lot of people have private accounts.
Debate me, bro.
Debate me. Okay, well, and
I'm not debating you.
And I say to people, I'm like, I don't have to debate you. I have facts on my side, but you're welcome to come on my podcast.
Debate.
Do that?
What are we debating? Like, I mean, they're
like,
always trying to debate. It's just so boring. Like, fuck you. That's why I do a show. I don't need to debate you. I have my own show.
Exactly.
You don't like it, go do your own fucking show, right?
Exactly. And I'm like, I'm not your mom. I don't have to spoon feed you shit. They're like, oh, that's because you don't know anything. And it's like, stop it, you stupid bully.
That's because you're not that important. That's what it is. They want us.
And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what we say.
Yes, it's a waste.
They don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. And that's another thing that, when I usually get to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't care if you don't want to believe me. The truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not. And you don't have to like the truth for you to believe it. Sorry, that's on you.
Well, they just
it's like you can't control someone else's feelings. You can only control your reaction to stuff. I can't make people stop being stupid. I can't make people stop being willfully obtuse and ignorant and living with their head in the sand. That is a choice that they make. I don't want, literally, I don't know how many times I have tweeted my Epstein, Katie Johnson testimony video, and literally I had someone with like a solid 14,000 followers, and she was a real person. Her response to me was, he did not.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? He did to infinity. I mean, why am I, what am I supposed to change my entire political belief system because you came back with, he did not? I'm like, well, he did too.
Well, that sounds like them. I get them on my on the my other on Tower Buster. They'll send me messages, lady, you need to take some Xanax and get the TDS. Yeah, but I mean, but it's always something. They're never actually saying anything intelligent or offering. Well, what is the truth then? Where am I wrong, lady? I really pray for you. I hope you could get a grip, get a clue, and shit like that. It's like, okay, what a scintillating comment. Another scintillating comment from the Republican Party. I mean, they offer nothing. They're not challenging. Well, tell me if I'm wrong. Then hey, we'll discuss it. But I'm not averse to facts. You know, I mean, okay, set me straight.
No, but I have started doing what John Fugelsang told us to do, and we'll talk about again tonight when we're on his show on Sirius XM Progress, using his book Separation of Church and Hate as a model for any of these Trumpocrat Christians who come in and be like, oh, God's going to punish you. And I have started to respond to people with, which of Donald Trump's attributes is the most Christ-like? Because that's one of the questions that John has on his list for people, gentle questions for Republican Christians, MAGA Christians. And they block me immediately after that. Which of his attributes is the most Christ-like? And they never come back because there's no answer for that. There really isn't. I can't wait until I have like the physical hard copy. I'm going to keep it on my desk as a primer, and I'm going to annotate it, and I'm going to put like bookmarks in it whenever I get, because John was talking about it when we had him on the show last Thursday. They only have like 5 responses using the Bible as their argument. So like you can always come back with truth and that. And eventually it's going to be like, well, in Fugelsang, page 24, line 5.
I like that.
So anyway, hey, this was our 50th episode of The Tower Show, and we couldn't do it without our buddy Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Being with us every step of the way. 50, we're just getting started. 50 is young. 50 is but a gleam in the eye 30. Of the podcast world, right? 50 is the new 30. 50, we're young, we're spry, we're full of energy. Make sure, if this wasn't enough TNT dynamite for you, we'll have more of it tonight on Sirius XM Progress with our good friend John Fugelsang. If you have the means, please kick a little scratch down into the Venmos or in the Super Chat. Sign up for our Substacks. Also, please support the Political Voices Network because independent media matters more than ever. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will be back here on Tuesday, 2 p.m/11 a.m. And don't forget, Tower Buster tomorrow night with Devlin.
That's right. And Hal Sparks should be on the show tomorrow night.
Oh, and our buddy Hal.
I hope so. Last time he had to reschedule, so we'll see. We'll see.
He's a man on the move.
Yeah, I can't-
Pal Hal. Thank you, everybody.
Can't blame
We
him.
love you and appreciate you.
All
Couldn't
right.
do it without you.
See you later.
soon.
See you at 11, people. 11.
Bring on. Yeah.
I'm taking attendance. See you soon.
Are you gonna take a disco now? You gotta take a disco.
Maybe.
Just hunker down with the cats.
Maybe. Sounds lovely.
Because 11 o'clock is late for you.
It's
That's
not.
11.
Everybody's so worried about I'm fine.
I'm not.
11's
I'm
fine.
just. I mean, by 11 o'clock, I'm definitely in bed.
I'll be all
definitely
right.
in bed. But I mean,
I'll be fine.
I would stay up late to talk to John Fugelsang too, but fortunately,
Yeah.
I don't have to